So welcome back to Learning Partner. In this video, we are going to complete a simple Angular machine test example. So whether it is an Angular or React, both the developers are going to face this kind of machine test when you are appearing for the interview. So test case is very simple. Just we have to design a car rental application, right? Now, when we say about car rental application, let's say we have a business owner and he has particular cars with him and he put that cars on a rent. Customer will rent his car for particular duration, correct? Now that data we need to store into an application. So that is just a basic idea of car rental application. Now, we are not going to do it with the API because once you normally when you appear for the interview, no one normally not all the companies provide you the API. They will ask you to do the achieve the same machine test with the local JSON file or the local storage to make it interactive, so that they will judge you on the code how you write also without API. Correct. Now, so this is the UI. If you are new to the channel, please do like, subscribe, and like my videos. And if you are not following this channel, please do like it. Please do follow it. Video description, you will find it in the video. That Zoom link, you will find it in the video description. I normally take the live coding session, so you will get notified on that WhatsApp group. Now, so this is the UI. So consider like from here, we are able to add the car. So currently I have added just 3 cars. Now let's add model 4. Let's add a rate for our. So when we are creating a car, we are deciding like what is the rate. Let's say it is a per hour or per day. Let's say 1200 per hour, and let's say 2000 rupees per day rate. So you can see it is added over here. And whatever the cars I have added that are coming over here, this is our booking form. I don't have the label and everything, but this is going to be your booking form. Whatever the cars you have added that are coming over here. So let's say I select 2 rain type, let's say per hour. So let's say I need it for 3 hours and number of cars I will be 1. Add. So whatever the booking, this is a booking form. So whatever the cars we add, we can add it multiple cars, and on click of calculate bill, you can see we have got the bill amount. Correct. And again, we can store this data into local storage. So all the data, whatever you are seeing right now, will be stored into the local storage. Okay. So currently this is just a example I have created. Now we will start with the Angular project. Again, like Angular project, I'm using Angular 17. So the new things, whatever we have in Angular 17, we will try to cover that. So basic empty project I have created. Just to give an idea, like ng new, the project name. By this command, you create your Angular project. After creating the project, I have installed Bootstrap and font awesome. Just if I need to use the Bootstrap and the font awesome. So these things I have installed. You can just go to npm, search Bootstrap and font awesome. You will get the command. That command you need to enter it. Or I will be pushing this code, so you can just copy this and put it in your practice project and just do the npm install. After adding Bootstrap and font awesome, I have added the same links over here. Right? Whatever the external library you are using in your Angular project, whatever the links they have, you need to import it into your Angular.json. These 2 things I have already done. Now, so coming back to app project. So we see like this is just a task example I have created. But when we are talking about a machine test, so we will create 2 components. In one component, we will create the car list and another will for the booking. There we will do the booking. So let's create 2 components. So this is an Angular 17 project. So we won't get app module because all the components are by default standalone over here. So instead of app module, we have something that is appconfig.ts. It is not a replacement of app module, but kind of some things which we need, we have to do it over here. Correct? Now app route module.ts here. So previously we had app routing module.ts, but now it's just a TS file, not a module. It's just a normal TS file. Here we are just storing the routes. That's it. Right. So let's create the component. Now in app folder, I'm creating a folder, components. And in this component folder, I will be storing my component. Let's open a new terminal. So first component of what I will be needing is to store the car list. So let's say car list. In this component, I will be doing the CRUD operation of car, like displaying the cars and everything. So first component is created. After that, we will need the booking component. So bookings. So this is the another component where we will create our booking form. Now we are going to store the data into the local storage. So rather uh, just keeping this machine disk at a very simple level so that every fresher and the experience also can understand this. So I'm not going to create a service. So whatever the storing logic I will be doing, it will be in the component itself. So that's why I'm not going to create a service. Now, once the components are created, we have to create the route. So first route will be default route. So path routes are same as it is. Whatever you know from the previous version, just like that routes are there. Redirect to default route I'm creating. Let's say default route will be car, or let's make it booking. Then path mesh strategy. Cool. This is my default route. Then actual route for car. And the component which I will open on the car is car component. That is car list component. Then again, booking component route. Component booking component. Right. So this will be our routing. So when you create the default Angular project in app component, you get so much things. So let's get rid of that. And here I will add just the router outlet for now. Let's just save and check if we are able to see the routes. I have run the application. By default, application will run on localhost 4200. So let's just open that over here. So by default, you can see booking work is there. Why booking work? Because if we don't have anything in the URL, it is redirecting to the booking component because of this route. This is the default route. If we put car in the URL, so you can see car list component is opening. But we are not going to manually put it, right? We need some navigation also. So let's get the Bootstrap navbar. So let's go to Bootstrap 5. Let's just get the basic navbar. Let's copy this. Now navbar will go inside our app component because for now we don't have a login page and anything, right? So this will be our parent component. And inside that, I will just create a container div. Let's say we should be able to see the navbar. See, navbar is there. Now, instead of href, now in the previous version, if we have to add the navigation, we used to use the router link, right? So now let's try that. Router link is equal to whatever the route name we have created. So this will be, let's say, first route, I'm giving it car. Then second lane, that will be for booking. So I will provide it as a booking. Just two components we are going to have. So let me remove it. But see, if I'm clicking, anything is not happening. So let's check the error, what is wrong. Why it is not clickable? Let's try to inspect. Car is there. Let's try to save on. It is already saved. Router link. I wanted to show you that why router link is not working. So see, currently I'm clicking over here, but it is not navigating. Now in import, I will add router link. What it is router link. Now let's save it. Let's check it again. Currently I'm on the car route. Okay, if I click over here, now you can see I'm able to redirect. Correct? So before adding the router link, I was not able to redirect. So this is the new thing in Angular 17. Whatever you are using, you need to import them. Okay. So since we have imported router link, now router link started activating. See, now we are able to navigate. Correct? Next thing. So now app component work is done. Now we can go in. Let's first complete the car list component. So obviously in the car list, if we see the UI, we have to create a form normal. There we will create basic details like car name, rate per hour. We will take the image also like that. So what I will do is I will create one more component to store the models like class or interface, whatever we are going to create. I will put that over here. So let's say car.ts, just a TS file I'm creating. And here I will be creating a class car. Let's say car name is going to be there. What are the field car is going to have? So that we are creating. Then rate per hour. Let's make it number. Rate per day. Number. And let's say car image. Again string. We won't be doing the upload thing, but we will pass the URL. So we have created a class. So all the properties has some error like it is not initialized. So it's a class. So we can initialize it over here with the help of constructor. Now let's say like some things are optional. So you can add a question mark over here like that. So now it won't throw the error. This is also possible. So you can create an optional property in the class also. But let's just initialize all the properties with empty. This dot car image is equal to empty. Now in case of number, so for number we cannot initialize with empty, so I'm just assigning it with 0. And rate per day is equal to 0. So this should be our class. We have created our class. Now over here, so let's copy I will just create a shortcut UI. Let's say we will use a side-by-side panel. In left side we will show the car list, and in the right side we will have the car form. So for that, just I'm using the card structure. Let's say call it. Inside that call it again, I will have a card header. With header, we will need some background color. So BG success. Inside that, I will need row for 6. Let me just create the whole structure. Then you will understand after saving how the UI is going to look. Here we will say car list. And here we will have a button. Primary, add new. So header part is done. Then we will have card hyphen body. In card body, we will have the table. So just a basic table I'm creating. We will first complete the UI. T head will be there. Inside T head, TR will be there. TH. Let me just copy paste. So first, let's say serial number, car, per hour rate. Then we have per day rate. Then image. Right, so this TR is done. Then we will need T body. Currently, we don't have any data, so I will keep it empty. So this is our call it, right? So what left is call for. So I'm just copy pasting it. Call for. This will be new car. It will be close. And here instead of table, we will have the form. So let me just save. Let's check one more thing. Just text and class I'm going to add. So whenever you are appearing for the interview now, as we know, like we are Angular or the React developer, but we only have to take care about the UI also. So make sure you are designing properly. So you can see I have created 2 cards. In this first card, I'm going to show the data, whatever we have. Let's just add a class table border. So now it will take the 100% width, right? So here we will show the whatever the cars we have available, and here we will have the form. So let's design the form also. Then we will write the Angular code. So dot row dot value. 6. Inside that we will have label. Let's say car name. Now for car name, we will need the text box to input. Class form hyphen control. If you need a small text box, you can use form control hyphen SM also. Car name is there. Then we have image. So image URL. This row is completed. Then in second row, we will need per hour rate. Here we can keep it as number because we know that number we are going to know. Then we need per day rate. And after that, we will need save and the cancel button or the reset button. So let's create that. Let's copy paste. Don't waste the time. If you are strong in UI, so don't try to do it everything. Just use the copy paste. It will save the time. It will have more time in the functional programming. Secondary. This will be reset. And this will be saved. Instead of primary, let's use it success. Text hyphen center. Let's save and check it if our form is looking proper. Right, so now it is looking proper, just some padding is remaining. So let's add PT3. Correct. Now, next thing is, now we have created a table also and the form also. Now we have to bind this form to our object. So let's go to .ts. Now here I will say car obj. Data type will be car. The model which we have created, say it is suggesting the import also is equal to new. It is a class, so we can initialize to it like this. Now this car object we can bind to ng model to all the elements. So square bracket, round bracket, ng model is equal to dot. So see the benefits of creating class. Now it is IntelliSensing everything, whatever the properties you have. If you create the object with any, it won't IntelliSense. You might make the spelling mistake. So always when you are appearing for the machine test, always create class and interface. Correct? So this is binding to be car name. We will get the error. I will come to that. Let me just complete the binding. This will be image. This will be per rate, per hour rate, and this will be per day rate. Correct. Now, you know, in the previous version, when you have to use the form ng model, you have to use the forms model. Correct. But now we don't have app model. So in component itself, you get the import array. So here you need to add the forms model. Now error will go now. Correct. So now you can use the ng model. Now on click of save, we need to call the function. So let's click on save car. Validation I won't be taking. So many other videos are there created by me where I have explained the validation, whether it is template or reactive. So this just the functionality I will be taking. So now we have called the function. One more function we are going to need to reset it. So on reset. In on reset, what we need to do, we just need to initialize this object just like that. So it will create the new object of this car, and whatever the values we have initialized in the constructor, that will be initialized. And this function we will call it on reset. So click like this. Correct. Now on click of save, now we don't have the APIs, but we need to store the data. So we will be storing the data into the local storage. So on click of save, first I will need to create a variable also, car list, which is going to store the data. So car list, it will be of type car only, but it will be array. Car square bracket is equal to empty, initializing with empty array. Now, so what normally we have to do is, when this page is going to load, first we need to read the data from the local storage also. Correct? So I will implement on init now. On init hook, ng on init, I need to implement. So first I need to import it. Then in class level, I have to implement it. Once I implement it, it will give the error like you have to implement the ng on init like this. So on the page load, normally what we do in the API case, on the page load, we call the API in ng on init, right? But now we don't have the API, so we have to read the data from the local store. So what here I'm doing, let's say constant local data is equal to local storage dot get item. Let's say while storing the data, I'm storing the data into local storage with some key. Let's say rental car. This is the key I'm going to use. Now I'm trying to read it. So whenever you are reading the data from the local storage, always you have to add a null check, because if the data is not there, it will be null. So whenever you are doing the operation, before using this variable, you have to add the null check, right? So local data not equal to null. Correct. If it is not equal to null, and one more thing, when we are going to store the data, now we are going to store it with converting. So let me just write that code also. So how we are going to store is, uh, let it complete first. So when we are going to store the data into the local storage, now local storage only understand string type of data. It doesn't understand array or object or anything, right? So we need to, whenever we are storing the data into the local storage, we have to convert the data into string format if it is array or object. If it is string, obviously we can directly store it. But if it is array or object, we need to convert the data into string format. So we use json.stringify method while storing. Now, vice versa of that, when you have to convert the string data again into the object or the array format, so you have to use json.parse. So if local data is not null, means I have some data in my local storage. So this dot car list is equal to json dot parse method I have to use. And what I will pass, whatever the local data I get inside this. Correct? Now, on the page load, this thing will happen. In the car list, if we have data something in my local storage, I will get that car data over here. Now over here, I just need to add a check. So if now, since we are dealing with the local storage, when we actually work with the API call, we will get primary key. Let's say customer, so customer ID, product ID, car ID. But we are not dealing with the API. We have to store the data into the local storage. So when creating the car, we have to create some unique, what do I say? Car ID. So in my class, I'm adding one ID, that is car ID, data type number, so that it will, every car will have something unique number. And by default, I will initialize with 0 like this. Now here I will add this dot car object dot car ID. If it is 0, if the case is 0, we will know like this is, we are creating a new car. So if it is 0, what I need to do, I need to push the car object to this array. Dot. Instead of push, we will use unshift, so that top record will be added at the top, and the car object we need to push it like this. Correct? So this is the check we have done. And once we have stored the data into the array, we just need to store the data into local storage also. Whenever you are pushing or doing something in the local array, you need to update the local storage also. So while storing the data, we have to use the set item method. The key which we have already gone over here, rent car, like this. Now you can see this rent car static thing, we have done it 2 times. So now when it comes to interview, now interviewer will judge your code like you are using this 2 times. Why not to create a variable and store it? Yeah, so let's do that. Either we can create a constant file and do that, but for now I'm just doing it over here. So let's say local key name, string. This I'm putting it over here. Now wherever I need the local key name, so I will pass this variable. Now this is dynamic, correct? So we are not hard coding anything. Now, while storing the data, we need to store the car list, correct? So car list is an array, but we cannot store array into the local storage. So when we have to convert it to the string format. So JSON dot stringify method we have to use, and we have to pass the car list. So this variable will go over here, right? Let's just add a debugger and let's test it first. And here also I will add. So just make a habit when you are actually preparing or whenever you are working somewhere also. If you are doing something new task, always test your code properly, what is coming, what is not coming, where the flow is going. Correct? So that unit testing will be properly handled. So on page load, ng on it will trigger. So now you can see currently in the application in the local storage, let me just clear this. Currently we don't have any data, correct? So now here in local data, you can see we have got null. So this code won't work because we have added a null check, correct? So currently car list is empty. Now let's try to add, let's say model one image URL. Let's get the image list. Let's use this image only. Let's use carvale.com and let's use their image only. Open image in a new tab. So this is the image URL. This I am using over here. What is the model name? Maruti Suzuki Genset. This is my car name. Let's say for this particular car, rate is 1000 rupees per hour and per day is 3000. Something value we are passing. Non-click of save, our this function will get called. Correct? Now car object car ID is 0 because we have just initialized that, right? We are creating a new car. So if it is car ID is equal to 0, it will go inside the block. It will first push the data into car list. So here you can see in the car list, we have one element now. Now this array we are storing into the local storage. Continue. So now you can see over here, correct? Now even if we refresh, the data will be still there because we are using the local storage, correct? Now on the page load, we have got the data, whatever the car list is there, we have got it over here. Now we need to display this on, correct? Now with the previous version, like if we have to iterate the dynamic element, we used to use ng for. So if we have to use ng for in Angular 17 now, we have to import the common module over here. Then you can use, we have to add common module over here. Then only we can use the ng for. But even without using without using common module or without using ng for also, we can use control flow statement. That is something new in Angular 17. So if you know the React or the JavaScript, we know the normal for loop. So at the rate for, directly I can write like this. And inside this for loop, we just have to pass the array. So array name is car list. This we will pass it over here. Track by index and we need the serial number also. Serial is equal to $index. $index. Why it is saying track by, let's pass item dot car ID will be unique. Yeah. Okay. So in serial number, we will get the index now. So inside this for loop, we will put whatever the element which we have to repeat. So what we have to repeat is the tr. What number of td we need to do it? Let's just copy paste. So in the first tr, as we have seen here, we have set the serial number. So we can use this serial number variable over here. We're using interpolation. So normally indexing will start with 0. So we will make it +1 because it will be 0. I will show it, then I will change it. Then item dot car name. See the benefit of creating, what do we say, class and interface. So you get it everything IntelliSense. Then per day hour, sorry, per hour. Then we have to show the day. And lastly, image. Now image, it doesn't matter. We have to show it over here like this. We can use the image tag and there we will add the src attribute dynamically. And here item dot, because what is the use of showing the URL now? We need to show the image like that. Let's just add some style width. Let's say 50 px, small one only. Height 50px. Instead of this, you can show the you can, instead of using the table, you can use the card also, because in card you can show the images very properly. So let's just save and test if we are able to see the data. So here you can see image is also coming and it is. So you can see here it started from 0. That's what I said. Always increment it with +1. Now it will start with 1. So we have successfully created the car. Let's just create one more. Let's just get the image. Image is also looking same. Yeah, it is different. Open in image. This is the URL. This we will pass it over here. Let's say its rate is 1200 and it is like 2500 something per day. Let's click on save. Now you can see new is added over here. Correct. Now you can see once I save, the data is still there. So after saving, we can just call our function that is going to reset. So this function I can call it over here, this dot like this. So our form will reset. Let's try this also. Let's use the third car. Let's get the image. It will go over here. Let's say per our rate is 1300. Let's say 3500 something. Let's click on save. So now you can see after save, form is also getting reset. Okay, so basic thing is done. Now in the card, you can see I have added this add new and the close button. So currently we are not doing anything. So what is the purpose of this? So what I want to do is if I click on add new, then only this pop-up will side panel will be visible. If I click on close, this card will take 100% weight and this will get hidden. So let's do that. Now to achieve this, we just need to create one variable. Let's say is side panel visible. And it will be Boolean. Let's initialize with false. Correct. Now this thing, I will use it where I can use it on this card. So now this sidebar card we can display if this variable is true. If this variable is true, then only we have to display this. Okay, again, we are not supposed to use the ngif. We will use @if block. So instead of, because if we have to use the ngif, we have to add the common module in the app, our component, right? But to why to increase the complexity of our app component, right? So we can use the @if block normal. And the condition will be this. And whatever if this condition get true, we remove this, we have to render this div. So now this div will be over here. Correct? So now this div will be visible if this condition get true, means this variable value has a true. This is equivalent to this. Okay. Doesn't matter because this variable is being only true value. So you don't need to compare it with again true. So if this variable is true, then only this div will render. Now this class, we need to make it dynamic. Okay. So here we will use ng class. So ng class. Okay, let's try to use the property binding. So class is there. So for this div, we need to add the dynamic class. So like if you have to add the dynamic class in Angular, we have to go for the ng class. But again, ng class will come from the common module, so we have to import it. But instead of that, it's just a normal class we are going to add, so we can make use of the property binding also. So instead of this static thing, I will use class name. And the condition will be, if this variable is true, we have to add this class, otherwise this class. So here I will add call it. So if this variable is true, means our side panel is visible. So we just have to make it call it. And if it is false, then we will have full screen. So call 12. So let's just test it. So currently you can see variable is true. So we get the both thing. And let's make it for true. I think vice versa. Okay. Thing is working or something is working. Let's check. Currently, both these are visible. And if we change the value to false, yeah, okay. So if side panel is visible, now that same thing, we have to just do that variable change on this button click. Now this variable, so in the first card, we have a button over here, add new. So when click, I will just make this variable value as true. Currently, we don't need to write a function and do that. We are just changing the value over here. So I'm just making it true. And in another card, on click of close, we will just make it the value false. So let's just test it if it is working or not properly. So by default, it is false. We have got the full width screen. If I click on add new, you can see side panel is visible. And if I close it, that is also closed. Correct? So without using ng class also, or without importing anything, we have did this. Correct? So first part is done. Car list is we have successfully created the car. Now next part is we have to do the booking system. Correct? So let's move edit and the delete part. I'm not taking, just for the time being, I'm skipping. I will do that once I get the time and push the code into repo also, so that you can have access to that. How we will delete, how we will do the edit and the delete part. Now let's just go back to the booking part now. So app config, let's just make it booking instead of link to. So now here we just need to do the booking. So like this, correct? So in booking component, let's say booking. So what do we need in the booking component, right? So let's create the booking object also, just like the car. So this will be booking. Car ID will be there. Customer name will be there. Obviously, we need the customer name who is booking the. Then we will need the mobile number. Car ID only we will keep. I think car name also we will need, because we cannot do the join, right? So car name also we are going to need. And instead of this, what we can do? We won't show the car image, just the car name, customer name, mobile number also we will need. We can empty initialize to empty. Booking date will be date, data type. After booking date, rent type, like is he renting for by per hourly basis or by day purpose? Rent type, it will be string. Then what do we have? Rent, select car ID, rent type. We select the value, whether it is a per day or hour, for how many hours or day we have to go, we are renting this. So that will be rent duration, string, and then number of cars. So number of cars, this will be number. Let's initialize the remaining thing. Booking date is a date, so we can initialize with new date. Then this dot rent type, it's a string, so initialize with empty. Rent duration again, it's a number, so I will initialize with 0. Rent duration we have to initialize with number, because 1, 2 or something we will be adding. And number of cars also with 0, as it's a number. So we have created our booking object. So these are the fields we are going to have in the booking object. Now, here again, the same thing, just like this, I will just copy paste the basic thing. Then I will just change the UI, right? Let me just get remove all this. This side panel variable we are going to need. Boolean, by default false. Now, here we have to design the form. So here, instead of car text box, now we have to show the drop down of the cars, right? Whatever the cars we have to show the drop down. So here it will be select car. Let's just save. Now we need the car also, right? So just like we have read the data from over here, right? Just like that we have on the page load, we need to read the data into booking component also. So car list, we need the import. Again, ng on init and everything we are going to need. So I'm just doing that thing, copy pasting. Implements on init. On init needs to be added into the import statement. And on the page load, we need to read that also. So ng on init, we are doing that. Right? And local key name also, right? So this also we need to write it again over here. The local storage key name. Instead of writing over here, we are just storing that into a variable. Now, so once the page load, we are going to read the data from the local storage and that we are storing it over here, car list. This we need to iterate over here in the, now here we need the select, and in that option will be dynamic. So again, for loop, and here we have to create the option. Value, car ID we need to pass. So item dot car ID and item. So our it's created. So page new like this, correct? Now we are going to use the form module, right? So forms module, we have to add it. Then booking object, we will add it over here. So let me just copy this. We will need the class also. So in case of drop down, we can use form select instead of control. It will be form select. So we get that hamburger icon also. Now instead of car object, we have created booking object. So some things are I'm copy pasting, but you can make sure what you are, if you are fresher or if you have not done this kind of application, so don't just copy paste, write your code. Okay. Then car selection is done. After that, what we need, customer name and the mobile number. So let's use car I have selected. After that, what we will do, first we need the customer data. So let's copy this. Let's move it at the top. Let's say customer name. Instead of car object, now it will be booking object. Customer name, mobile number. Now for mobile number, you can just add a basic validation that max length should not be greater than 10 digit. We are not going to do the validation, but this kind of validation you can add. Customer name, mobile number, then user will select the car. Then we have to take the booking date also. So here instead of text, we will use the date so that we will get the calendar booking date. Instead of car object, it will be booking date. Then we need another row. Now what is remaining is like rent type, rent duration, and the cars. So here, while creating car, yeah. So here we need to create a static dropdown. Okay. In rent type. Rent type, I'm creating a stock static dropdown. So it will have only two options. Let's say this will be empty. Select as a placeholder. And then we will have again option. This will be for day. Same we will display over here, and this will be per hour. Okay, so rent type is done. After that, rent type, we need the duration. We need to ask like for how many duration we are going to rent this. Or one more thing is there. Yeah, rent duration first we need to rent. Like it is hourly or something else like that. Rent duration. And lastly, one more thing we need is number of cars. Let's create one more row. How many cars is going to take? Correct. So let's just save and check if we are able to see the booking form properly. Click of add new. So you can see whatever the cars we have created, those are coming over here. Correct. Now let's write the remaining code. So on booking save, let's create this function. Now booking also we are going to store into local storage only. Just like booking sim, the on reset function is also there. So in on reset, we are just initializing the object. So booking this dot booking object is equal to new booking. It will initialize the constructor and all the values will be initialized. Now on booking save, just like we have done for the car, again we need to create an array that will be booking list. It will be a data type of booking, square bracket, empty. Correct. Now in the local storage, we have to do two things. First, we will read the car list, and just like that, we are going to do the booking also. So booking, we will keep it in the another local key. So here, let's pass rental booking. So consider like booking local booking data. So in this key, we are going to store the data. And once we get it, we are going to assign it to the booking list. Correct? Now, so here again, we will add the check. I think we forgot about booking ID. Let's add the booking ID also. Once I do the update thing, now there you will understand the purpose of this ID. Why do we need it? You will be, once I push the code, you will be able to see how I'm using this booking ID. So if this dot object dot booking ID, if it is equal to 0, means we are creating a new booking. So what we need to do, this dot booking list dot unshipped, and we need to pass the booking object. So this dot booking object we need to pass, and we are going to store the booking array. So storage dot set item from bracket, and here we will pass the booking array. But when we store it, so once we store it, we need to convert it to the string format also, just like with what we have did while car storing. So key name is this rental booking. This will go over here, JSON dot stringify. And here we need to pass the booking list array. Correct. And this booking list, we can use it to iterate also. So in the table, we need to show the bookings also. So again, for loop, let me just copy the basic code. So just like this. The basic code I'm copy pasting. Here it will be have booking ID. So first we will show the customer name. Let's modify the headers also. Customer, and below only we will show the what do we say, name, mobile number also. In small text we will show the mobile number. So item dot mobile number is there. Then car name, which car he has purchased. Rate. Now one thing we have forgot, like here we have binded the car ID, but instead of that we will use the car name only, because again we have to read the car ID and do it. So car name only we are doing it, but let it be car ID only. Then we will like find the data and then we will update the object over here. Car name, rent type, duration, and number of cars. That's it. So let's remove this heading. Customer, car, then rent type, duration, and the number of cars. Let's save and now before saving, we need to change this code now. So if you see in the drop down, we have binded car ID, but in array, we need to store the car name also. So here you just need to find the car name. So car data is equal to this dot car list dot find. We are going to find the car by using the name, sorry, ID dot ID is equal to this dot booking object dot car ID. And in booking object, we have to assign the car name. Car name is equal to car data like this dot car name. Okay, we didn't add the null check, so that's why it is giving error. So let's add, sorry, undefined check. So car data not equal to undefined, because if we don't get it by using the file method, we will get it undefined. Now this we will put it over here like this. Now it is error is not visible. So let's just add a debugger and let's debug this code also. Let's save. One more thing is remaining. So we have to let's just first complete booking list. We have to iterate it over here. No, it is showing some data. Booking list, no? Okay, here we were not using it. So this is the only thing when you are copy pasting, always make sure you are checking properly. Otherwise, this kind of error you will be facing. So currently we don't have any data. Let's click on new booking. Oh, it's mobile. It should be text. So again, I think I have copy pasted it. So this is not a number. This is text. This we can put it as a mobile number. This is date correct. Rent duration is also correct. Number of calls also correct. Let's try. Add new. Let's say Rahul. Let's enter some double mobile number. Then car. So let's say I want to select this car. Booking date, I'm doing the booking for 17th. Then rent type, let's say per day. Duration, let's say 2 day. And number of car, only one. Let's inspect it. And I just want to show that car name logic. On click of save, our function will get triggered. Booking ID is 0 only. We are creating a new booking. So here we have got the car ID. Let's see if we get, yeah, we got it. Okay. So here, no, wait, something is wrong. Why car ID is 0? Okay, so while storing the data, we didn't write any logic for creating dynamic car ID. So while creating car, I forgot that. So when, what do we say? When we are creating car, so we need to append the car ID, something unique. So here, this dot car ID is equal to what we need to do. We just need to get the list of car length plus one. So now every car you will be adding will have car ID something unique because you are counting the list and plus one, correct? Now let me just modify the data over here. Let's make it as one. Let's give me some time. I think here won't be able to do that. This will be car ID one. The last one is remaining. This will be car ID three. We'll just remove this booking data. Let's reload. Let's try again. So now if we select, we will get some car ID over here. See, we are getting the car ID now in the value type. Correct. So let's say Rahul. Let's select the last car. Let's select that 17th April per day, today, number of car one. Let's try to debug that code now. Let's click on save. So now we will get the car ID, which is three. So now in the car data, you can see the car ID, which is having car ID three, we have got. And from that, we are using the car name. Because in booking object, we don't have the car name. Set is empty. So from array, we are finding the particular car name and we are assigning it. Continue. So now you can see the data available over here. Correct? So this is how we have completed the basic car renting application. This is very basic. Now, again here, we have shown the calculation part also. So in this video, I'm just stopping till now over here. I will create one more video where I will be doing the logic, doing the calculation part, validation, whatever the things are remaining, we will continue that in the second part of the video. If you are new, please do like and subscribe. I will be pushing this code to my repository. You can just visit the GitHub Void Chetan. You will find that with this project name, you will find it. Angular 17 car rental application, you will find the source code. That's it. Thank you.